Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back. It's your girl Trish.
Welcome back. And your boy Mr. Define.
And we are
Black Press.
Alright, so let's get into it. What you got?
Hey, welcome to another week in 2023. And as every week, I want to start off by telling you what's going on in this crazy
world. But before we do that, please remember to like, share,
comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna talk about these politics because these folks up there is crazy. It's hilarious to me though because I mean, for one, I don't plan everything around politics, but I do pay attention to politics so I can see how I need to shift and move. And so I want to talk about these Republicans because it's hilarious. Of course, last week we were talking about how it took Kevin McCarthy 15 votes or 15 vote go rounds to get the majority leader seat. So the hilarious part is George Santos. Have you heard of George Santos?
Yes.
Up there in New York. So obviously he lied about everything, but his name. No, but he did even worse because everybody wants him to step down, and he's not doing it because he got voted in. But he lied about what school he went to. He lied about his resume. He turned in a resume. They didn't, and it was all lies. Where he went to, what jobs he had. Everything that he said was a lie.
But is that different than like going to a job and?
It's not supposed to be, and that's what I'm upset about.
Because a lot of people do that. Like, you go to a job, you have your friend fill out the resume,
and you fluff it up.
Yeah, I'm qualified to get on the job, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, but at least the job actually calls the people, like your references, and says, hey, this person actually worked for you. How were they?
But you can get your friends and your family members to
yeah,
a lot of people do that.
But here's my issue is like this dude is freaking running for Congress, running for Congress representative, and here's what pisses me off. What pisses me off is this guy can literally stay there. Yeah. Like unless he resigns, he can stay, and they're still talking about giving him different positions on councils and stuff. But what pisses me off is we, especially as black people that are the most incarcerated, have to, by law, put on our application that we are a convicted felon. So even after you serve your time, you have to put on there that you were convicted of a federal crime. So we got to do that, and if we lie, we lose our job.
Yeah, unless it's expunged.
Yeah, unless it's expunged.
In certain circumstances.
That's the problem. The problem is like. If a person serves their time and has gotten out good behavior, done their time, done their probation, all of that, they still have to put on there that they were a convicted felon. Yeah. Legally, they have to answer. They're supposed to answer that correctly. But this guy can lie about everything and everything he's ever done or not done, and he can still sit in Congress. This is the bullcrap. This is the bull that's going on in our country is because he is Anglo-Saxon and they still don't know where he got all this money from to even have his campaign
donations and all that.
Yeah. All of it is just
people that want to back
is insane, but they stand.
Yeah.
And Kevin McCarthy is going to give him seat on different programs and on different committees. Because they literally only have 5 votes in the House that make them the majority.
And if they allow him to stay, that means he can serve in other positions.
Yeah, but if he leaves, guess what? It has to go back to New York for another vote. And if that was the best the Republicans felt like they can put up, then it's gonna swing back to Democrats. Yeah. And then Democrats are gonna only have 4 seats to overcome. On votes, it gives them a whole lot less power. That's why the crap is ridiculous. Like this dude can literally do what he want and say what he want, do a whole campaign on a false resume, but we gotta still put federal felony on a job application when we didn't get our time. Not we, me, but
yeah.
That's my issue. I find great issue with that. And then everything that's going on with the Biden documents. Biden, they found like a total of like 10 different top secret compartmentalized documents in all these different places.
You gotta wonder.
You know what? Honestly, so having been in, those skiffs where everything you can't take anything out.
Yeah.
Can't take any secret information out. All of that stuff, I understand to a certain extent, because when, like, if the VP goes to a meeting, if the VP goes to a meeting and then he gets up and leaves the meeting, he's got people working for him that's packing everything up to move him along.
Yeah.
So things could end up in places where they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in your file cabinet besides your car in the garage, which is where they found one of them at. But I can see how that could happen. But at the same time, I also understand that all this government crap, there is, in every position I went through, you think you're going to get into a position where things are organized and they have everything established the way it's supposed to be. It's organized. Our entire government is organized chaos.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Organized chaos. And it's kind of understandable from my point of view, because you have, like, even at a company level where one captain has, maybe 300 soldiers, and every time they change positions, they're having to write off stuff that got lost.
Yeah.
And if that's happening at that level, up at a presidential level, vice presidential level, it's organized chaos to the 10th power.
Yeah.
So I understand it, and I'm still glad they're going through all these investigations. Investigate everybody.
Yeah.
Because y'all gonna investigate us.
They should be doing a lot better with keeping stuff compartmentalized and where they're supposed to be.
Like, you heard the military, like, misplaced billions of dollars. Like, they received it. They don't know where it's all at.
It's crazy.
Organized chaos. It is organized chaos. It's going to continue to be organized chaos. Look, it's going to always be that way.
Yeah.
It's going to always be that way because everything is ever changing. And it's a lot to have to deal with. And I always say that it was, things would be so much easier if people showed up to work and did their job the way they're supposed to do it. But you always have somebody in every level that's going to fall through. So what do? You just kind of keep rolling with it until you get out the seat. So, I mean, it's crazy. It's insane that would happen. You look at it from our position as civilians and be like, how did they let that happen? But then if you're in that, everybody can play Monday night quarterback. But when you're actually in the game and you're doing things like trying to run an entire country, documents slip. So it is what it is. It does muddy up everything for Trump to be investigated, but hey, it happens.
But they need to keep their focus on Trump still. Like, he shouldn't be like this shouldn't be like a scapegoat.
I think it kind of will. It's going to kind of be a scapegoat. For one, the Republicans ain't trying to do nothing about that. But then it also is you kind of have to argue. Well, if you start investigating Biden, then you kind of validate the investigation on Trump.
Yeah. Well, investigate both of them. I know exactly. They have the time and resources.
Biden, Trump.
They need to do what they.
Biden's son. Investigate all of them.
Yeah.
Because y'all gonna investigate us. If we mess up, you gonna investigate us. You gonna send the whole exactly. So hey, I ain't got no problems with it. I do understand it though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then of course they got the debt ceiling thing coming up. That's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Watch this. This whole thing is gonna. Y'all think and y'all thought when you thought that we got Trump out of office, it was gonna get less crazy. It don't seem to be happening that way. It don't seem to be happening that way, but it's hilarious to me.
I don't think it's just the person that's in office. I think it's everything in general. Yeah. So whoever's in office is just the person that's taking the blame.
Because you think about Hillary Clinton, she had the whole email thing. Then Trump had everything that he had. His was less organized chaos.
Yeah.
Well, Biden still got organized chaos. Like, you're just trying to make it through the next day, through the next event, through the next catastrophe, with all the things going on over there in Cali, in the South, everything. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's all I'll say about it. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's a lot of weight. And to do something like that, sucks for you, bro. And that's definitely still, as citizens, taxpaying citizens, put more oversight on it. Investigate it. But it's going to be another investigation. It's always going to be one.
Talk about taxes.
Yeah.
It's almost time to file.
I know, right? You need to get that money back.
Haven't started yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first year I get to have my son on there. But
I think this year, it's going to take a lot longer for documents and stuff to process. And I think it's going to take a lot longer for them to actually say, okay, we're accepting returns now. I think that's...
Yeah, because the House passed a bill to drop all of those new hires for the IRS. So, I mean, obviously they did it to allow the rich people to have less investigators looking at their stuff. Yeah. But, hey, I'll be rich one day, and I'll be happy that they're not looking at my stuff. So, the best way to get better is just to get to the point where you can pay enough people to take care of your stuff for you.
Yeah, but that's where you mess up, because you gotta rely on those people, and the people are not always reliable.
You look at what they did with the Trump organization. They had to pay all this money, a couple $1 million, but Trump is still able to go, I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah,
I pay people to do that.
Yeah,
I didn't know nothing about it. And if they can't catch you knowing something about it, I don't know. But hey, the best way to be is honest. That's true.
Yes.
But I'm gonna write off everything I can. And you should write off everything you can, too. Get that money. Keep as much money as you can.
Tax tips coming in the near future.
Yep. All right, so what do you got?
I want to say congratulations to one of my favorite actresses.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
She just won her Golden Globe for Black Panther. Her role in Black Panther.
Yeah.
She did. I think she did a phenomenal role, playing her part.
Yeah.
And it evoked like feelings and stuff. Like it felt like she was like she was really his mother. And yeah, that part when she. I don't want to give too much away because
if you ain't seen it by now, you ain't trying to go. You haven't go see it.
I don't know who hasn't seen it, but that part when she died, I cried. I was like, and she died saving somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So, it was... That movie is very...
She has played in some really good roles.
Yeah, she has.
I mean, you take it all the way back to Jackson 5.
Take it back to, how Stella got her groove back.
No, Jackson 5 was before that. So, maybe you missed it. You might not be old enough for Jackson 5. We grew up when Jackson 5 was... Jackson 5 was on regular TV.
That's right.
On the box TV.
That one, she played Tina Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that one.
Yeah, too. She deserves it.
She's so good.
Did you see that whole thing with her son?
Yeah.
Yeah, when her son
you saw how
joke on. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now that's parenting right there.
She raised him right.
She raised him enough to know that how stupid that was.
But he came back on. He apologized with tears in his eyes. I didn't mean to do it. But
that was hilarious.
That's how you raise. Because you gonna raise your kids. They're gonna do what they naturally gonna do. Kids like to follow trends and do what they see their friends doing and stuff. So
yeah, some stuff a little bit too far though.
Yeah,
especially somebody like her, knowing her connection with Michael B. Jordan, that was a little too far.
Yeah,
that's good parenting right there though.
Yes. And speaking of Black Panther, so there's a funny meme going around with Rihanna.
Really?
See, me personally, I love the song. So whenever I hear it, I'm like, ooh. And then when you listen to it, it makes you feel like, oh, especially when you tie it and relate it to the movie.
Yeah.
And then you have your own personal experiences. And you relate that too. But most people, they start cutting it off right before the song starts.
That song make you want to cry. Like that song make you think about everything that ever happened sad in your life.
It does.
I bet some women love that song.
I love it.
Cause y'all know how y'all like that sad music to make you want to sit down. And not like a good cry.
Well, yeah. You don't always want to cry though, but that song evokes feelings.
Yeah. I mean, it make me think about the Black Panther.
Yeah.
That thing bring me all the way back to Lion King.
Yeah.
Where Simba's like, Dad, wake up.
That song almost like, you remember that song,
Help.
I'll Be Missing You?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like, once you hear it, all you gotta do is hear, like, the instrumentals, and then you're like,
yeah.
And then it just takes you back into that place.
Mm-hmm. They should go back and put that song in Lion King. When Simba keep trying to wake his dad up. Mufasa.
Oh, that was so sad.
Help!
That was so sad.
Help! Oh.
And it wasn't even his fault,
Simba's
too. That's
gone
the crazy
too
thing.
far into the land. Daddy's not here to save you now. Anyway. I'm corny.
You'll be good on animation.
Yeah. Hey, hit me up. If anybody see this that make movies, yo, I'm telling you, I can act. I can act. Anyway, you heard about Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre sold his entire catalog for $250 million.
Well, you know, he had that that separation, that divorce, so he lost a lot in that.
Yeah.
So.
And then also, it's a lot of people that's been selling their catalogs though. Who else? There was somebody else recently that sold their catalog. I forgot who it was. Oh, Future sold his. I think Future sold his for a bunch of money.
What's the name? Should have sold his before he got in a clinker.
Who?
Tory Lanez.
Yeah, but I don't think he had a big, wide enough catalog.
But he writes song for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know what? I think it's smart though. Sometimes some people can say it's not, like, okay, financially you should keep it and be able to sell it later. But if you get out at the right time, especially the way music is going, like a lot of his music was like gangster rap.
Yeah.
So
it's changing over.
With the music industry changing over, like sell that and then reinvest it into something else. Like a lot of things that you build up though, even when I start companies and stuff, it's like my goal is to get it to a level that I can sell it and then reinvest in something else. And now people are like, oh, you got to hold on to it. No, not necessarily. Yeah. Because if you can reinvest into something that's coming up again, you can take that amount of money and propel it to a higher level.
That's true. And talking about that, there's a because I have my hair natural. There's a natural African American black hair product. It's called Mael. They tailor towards like people with 4C hair and like natural hair, and they have good chemicals in there to make your hair vibrant and do what it's supposed to do and not be brittle and breaking and stuff.
Yeah.
So they
don't be boosting them up too much until we gotta get hey, you gotta have to sponsor us or something.
Well, they're good. I use their hair products and I use some other stuff too.
Alright, y'all got 30 seconds off of us for free.
Yes.
Shoot.
I use some other hair products too, so I'll tell y'all that on a side note one day.
Yeah.
But
maybe put it in the comments. Maybe in y'all comment. Come on, now comment.
Yes.
Let's talk about some stuff.
So they ended up making it big.
Yeah.
And they have recently sold their company to P&G. P&G but P&G targets mostly how do I say this? They target non-African Americans. Right? Yeah. So it's mostly for other
white people.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
So a lot of white people have heard about this product and they've started like buying it out and clearing it off the shelves. And it's crazy because you you finally have that product for your hair that because it takes a lot of research and trying to figure out what works for your hair.
Yeah.
That seems to work for a lot of people's hair.
Yeah.
So with them selling to P&G, of course it's coming up and they're doing good. But once P&G gets it, you don't know if they're going to change the chemicals, the products, tailor it more towards the white and other communities.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's not going to say 4C, it's going to say for all hair types. And that's not what the company was built on. It was built on the African Americans. But since it's so good, they see like a potential and a target for them to dive in.
That's what they do. I mean, that for the longest time, those that have already had the resources will buy into it. I mean, that's the whole music industry. Yeah, the whole music industry was us black people with the culture being discovered by the white people, and then them being able to profit off of it. Yeah. And like I said before in a different episode, was the fact that they had the ability to get into the doors that we couldn't. Yeah. So they were able to profit off of it because they saw the potential from our own abilities and skills. Yeah. And but now you could build up. So, but yeah, they're doing it. Obviously, if they buying it all off the shelves just so they can resell it,
they are. And it's crazy because they're actually using the product because the product works for their. You see, the product works for their hair too. So their hair is like longer, so it takes more product and stuff. Yeah. So they're buying it off, so it leaves us with a shortage.
No, it don't.
It does.
You gotta go find it. Because we have equal opportunity to buy it off the shelves. If you don't get up early enough, hey, you should have woke up early enough and got to whatever store sold it.
But if we're buying like 1 and 2 bottles and they're going and buying like stock, like actual boxes,
then we should buy more.
Then you have to have the funds for that too.
Then we should have the funds.
She definitely should have the funds. But I'm saying, like, once they give it over to this company, it's not just black anymore. It's all hair types, which is what it most likely would change to. So you never know if they're going to change like the chemical compounds and stuff in it. It's not going to react the same way to your hair. So then,
but have they sold it?
Out of it? Yeah, they have. So now you're out of it, and now you have to find like different products to work for your hair. Yeah,
so, and it's a one-on-one, like to sell your product and the rights to your product, and then you make a lot of money off of it. But then they change it; they've got the rights to it. But then if you could always just change a different name. Yeah. Sell it to, I don't know. We might come to legal things with that, but sell the ingredients on the list to another company. Yeah, because they eventually, when you have a business, you want to
depends on if progress. Yeah, but you progress at the expense of the people that you were selling to.
So. And it all depends on the vision. That's basically what it is. It's what is the vision that you have. If you have a vision for your brand or your product going to something, and then expounding beyond that, then you wouldn't want to sell. But if you literally want to make it profit financially for yourself and then be gone, you can't blame somebody for that. I mean, I would wish that we would build and keep things within our community. But what can you do?
It's like that Deion Sanders, right?
Yeah, just like Deion Sanders issue.
You kind of have to. I think people, they need to start like kind of relying on themselves. Like, do your research, figure out what works for your hair, start gathering those compounds, because you can mix.
I don't know though. That's chemistry. Like you can mix stuff. You can learn it, but
you can learn it.
Not everybody has those capabilities.
They can learn it.
We can. Make sure you bring that same energy when I'm talking about what black people need to do for themselves in our community. Bring that same energy. Bring that same energy. Remember that? Y'all remember that? No. So if she start giving y'all excuses for why y'all having struggles, remember, hey, she said you can do it. If you can do it, you can do it.
You put your mind to.
Yeah, but I got a little bit more sympathy for chemistry. Chemistry and that stuff, that's not easy. It's knowing what stuff to mix, and then whose hair you gonna try it on?
You gotta try it on.
Like, you may have seen that Madam C.J. Walker movie or that series. Yeah. They was trying to make a new product and it was burning people's head. Till she got got it right. You gotta try test dummies, and then you gotta take the risk of getting your tail beat by the test dummy that you been burning all the hair out their head.
Yeah, you just gotta try. You know what works for your hair.
Hey, but you can't try but one time on one head, cause if all that hair gone, what are you gonna do then?
Before you do it,
see, you gotta be careful.
Do your research, mix it up, be like, okay, this.
That's like that chick with that pink sauce.
What is that?
It turned out to be stuff in there that was not supposed to be digested.
What is the pink sauce though? Somebody tell me.
I don't know. I saw. So it was. I don't know what it was, but the way she was packaging it was like unsecure. Mm-hmm. The ingredients was not right.
What do you eat it with?
And then they had somebody like anything, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I saw they had like actual glitter inside of it.
Oh my gosh!
Like real glitter. Like
that's not something I would eat.
You're not supposed to ingest glitter. Mm. Yeah, but that just went off to the side. YSL. You hear about the YSL trial?
No.
Where one of the jurors ended up getting coming into what's it called when you contempt of court for some reason, and the judge instead of confining her for 20 days, at first he asked her, he was like, have you been to college? She was like, yes. And then he assigned her a paper to write a paper with like 10 primary sources and 10 secondary sources, and it has to be an APA format. And she had like 2 weeks. He gave her like 2 weeks to do it. Like instead of putting her in prison, I was like, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Just so she could understand the history and why he said, so you can understand why we weren't at one point able to even be on juries. To do whatever she did. I haven't heard anything about what she exactly did. I don't know if she was maybe, I don't know, late or not wanting to come or something. But yeah,
confusing.
That was pretty interesting. I wish they would do that more for.
I wish I could get out of traffic ticket like that.
I know, right?
I could write it. I wrote a 20-page essay in one day.
I don't like. I mean, it's time consuming. Exactly, take you all day. Essays, and then you have to finding all those resources and primaries and secondaries, and then citing them the correct way and all of that. It's like, and that APA format, like the format is what gets me every time. The format gets me because especially like how you format it is determining how you write your references at the bottom of each page and the footnotes and stuff. It's like, why can't it all just be the same?
I used to like
everything gotta be difficult. Anyway, I don't want to bore the I will bore y'all. We start talking about papers and resources and footnotes. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so yeah, what else you got?
Lori Harvey.
What about Lori Harvey now?
It's not about her now. See, she did an interview. And she was saying that a lot of people that people link and associate her with she hasn't dated them. It's just rumors. So I think
she's a rumor.
I think a lot of times, especially with like young independent females who move like a certain way, they catch a bad rap because people are always associating them with somebody and saying, oh, they're basically sleeping around and you don't have to carry yourself like that.
Yeah.
Just because she could be networking. It doesn't have to always be you're sleeping with somebody just because you're young, you're pretty, you're vibrant, and you're sociable. It doesn't have to be associated with that.
Yeah.
You know? So now she's dating, because they just came out, she's dating, and forgive me if I say his name wrong, but his last name is Idris. So Denzel Idris, he used to I think he was under Denzel at one point in time, or there was some type of like confusion. Hmm. He doesn't want to be compared to Denzel Washington.
I never even heard of this person. I've seen pictures of him.
He's been in a lot of movies. He's like what? He's a very good actor.
Really?
I can't recall any of the movies that he's been in.
That kind of defeats your last statement.
No, you have to.
Oh yeah, I've noticed it. Oh, he's been in a lot of movies. Great actor. What's he been in? I don't know. He was great when I saw him in it. When I saw him in it, he was great.
See him. I would have wrote it down if I remember, but you just have to see him in action because he's a good actor. He reminds me of is it the Fisher? Antoine Fisher?
That's not Antoine. That's not his name.
It's not, but
no. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's not his name, but that's what most people refer to him as because
no, they don't.
That was one of his best roles. Yes. What's his real name?
I don't know, but it's not. I've never heard anybody refer to him as Antoine Fisher.
I have. If I remember people's names, then I refer to.
I don't remember nobody's name.
Well, I know their role as.
Yeah, I don't remember most people's names, and it's just because I don't have enough time to. I don't have enough focus. If you're not making like a legitimate impact on my name, I mean on my life or my finances, I don't remember your name.
Yeah.
Unless you're like in a whole lot of movies, and I think the military might have screwed me up because we got name tapes on our every uniform, and then you got a name on the back of your cat. So it's like I don't need to remember your name. So as you walk up, I just look at your name.
That's awful.
I know, and it is awful. But when you come across so many people throughout a regular day, and it's like. You're not always in the same office with all the same people every day. So to see people moving and walking, and then people are always changing locations and duty stations, and people coming, people go, and it's like I don't have time to remember. I remember actually at a point where I stopped remembering like the senior command sergeant major. I stopped remembering their names too. It was like once I don't have to know. Once you're not in my command group where I have to actually know that you are over me somewhere, I'm not worried about it. No.
Interesting.
Yeah. But too much energy. But on that whole Lori Harvey thing, it's like part of me is like, yeah, you can't always assume that somebody's, with so and so just because you see him. But at the same time, I think she uses that to her advantage.
Yeah, as she should, because.
But if you should, then don't say okay.
Because if you put it in perspective, so if people are gonna be saying all this negative stuff about you, you have the right to like defend yourself.
Right, but she didn't. It's been years.
Because who's gonna keep saying, oh, I don't.
Then don't bring that about it. Don't see, because she benefited from the rumors for years, and then to say after you already benefited from it, oh, none of that was true.
Right now,
if you was benefited from it, then if it wasn't true, and if you really felt like people should know that it's not true, you should have said it then. Don't wait until you already benefited from it, and you now say, oh.
She can capitalize on this right now, and
of course
she could write a book and be like.
What's she gonna write a book about? She ain't been with nobody. Here's
what to do to associate yourself with such and such, or here's how to
build a brand with no actual talent or product.
We don't know what she does. She's probably
exactly
brilliant. All we know about her is who she's dating. Or who she's possibly dating.
How to build a brand without talent or product. Why not?
No.
What would she write the book on? Like, if you was Lori Harvey and you had to make the title.
If I had to make the title, what would I say?
How to capitalize on your beauty.
That would be good.
Okay, but everybody already believes in pretty privilege.
Yeah.
So it's already like who's going to read that book? Yeah, there's a lot of women that will read that book.
A lot of people will read
it. A lot of women will read that book. But I don't think it's a good book to write.
But if she was to write like a book, it'll be one of the top sellers. A book about dating or
because women buy more books. Women buy the majority of most books. Ain't a whole lot of men buying books. It should be more, but it's not a lot.
I don't see men read. I don't think. If you read, write in the comments what title of a book you're reading now.
I'll be the only one that be the wrote. Ain't nobody gonna be the wrote in there. In that,
they like to.
Only thing you gonna see is Mission Defined.
Men like to
Crazy
read.
Fate. That's the last one I wrote.
I'm say 2 books they like to read.
The Man Behind the Pressure.
The 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
That's what they like to read, and they also like to read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I read that when I was 18.
I worked in the library before, so those 2 books.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yep. Those 2 books are.
Move My Cheese.
Yep, that one too.
That one. What's another one that?
Those are definitely books that they always come in and get.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. All stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some men reading that, but I wish there was a lot more men reading that. Reading stuff like that.
It's a lot more than you actually.
Powernomics. That's a good one that I've been hearing about. Yeah, but I mean, more power to her.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think she was just like seemed just like she just, I don't know, copied Kim Kardashian without the show, without the Keeping Up with the Kardashian show. She followed Kim Kardashian's game plan.
But if you could do it, then make it
how to gain maximum success off of your beauty. And how to keep silent on relationship rumors until you've already benefited from it.
I just drink my water and mind my business.
I'm just saying. It'll come out years later. Talk about, I wasn't with those people. Wait, you were benefiting from the success of people thinking that you were. So
she's networking. How to network. How to network and navigate the dating life.
Yeah.
So talking about pretty people. I want to talk about the Miss Universe pageant.
Okay.
I'm shocked that
we still have it.
Yeah, I'm shocked that we still have it, and I'm also shocked at like the sizes of everybody. Everybody's like small, very small and petite. There's no one that's like curvy or shapely or that's full figured.
Right. So
I don't know why enough awareness isn't brought to it because
that's not what the majority. That's not what the majority of America and the world finds to be worthy of Miss Universe.
I think it should be a good representation of how the world looks. Like the world doesn't look like skinny, petite.
Yeah, but the world knows what we believe we should look like.
Yeah.
So we know what we believe we should look like. And even those that don't do it know that they should probably do more to be in better physical condition.
So they setting that as like a standard of how to look.
I wouldn't say they're setting it as a standard. I would say that they're setting that as the standard of Miss Universe. That's a standard for that particular thing. There's another standard for CEO.
But if Miss Universe is representing the universe, then that's how they perceive people to look and present themselves. Because they still have to do like a speech and be able to talk and speak. Yeah. Like, can I go up there and do Miss Universe?
I believe you could.
You better know it.
You know it. You got me on camera saying it. Yeah, I said that. I said that. You see how quick that rolled off my tongue? I mean, you could. Yes, you could. I would definitely vote for you, babe.
Miss America and Miss Jamaica. I represent for both.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and you and Miss Jamaica didn't make it this year.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting topic though, because here's the thing. Nobody, I never hear any women complain about a woman CEO or a woman sports broadcaster or a woman NASA astronaut. You know why? You know, because we automatically believe and assume that they did the work to put them in that position, and they deserve to be in that position. There are so many pageants that these Miss Universes go through from the time that they're kids all the way growing up. They're putting in work. They're putting in work in the gym to do that, to do those positions. You know, NASA astronauts are putting in work in the gym, in the books. They're becoming astrophysicists in order to be in that position. The women that are in CEO positions or at sports broadcasting positions, they put in the work. So we automatically assume that they put in the work, but you can't take away from the idea that they probably put in the work because they decided Miss Universe was what I wanted to be, not Miss CEO. You put in the work towards CEO, you put in the work towards broadcaster, she put in the work towards Miss Universe. Both of you have reached the height of your career in the work that you did.
So do you think that means that since they're putting in work and they hold themselves to a certain standard, that they shouldn't be criticized by how they look and present themselves?
That they should be criticized?
They shouldn't. Because if you think about it, like you said, if they went through all this training throughout their life to get to a point to where their physique is where it's supposed to be, that means you have to eat, sleep, breathe, nutrition, exercise, keeping your body right, making sure that you're at optimal health, right?
Yeah.
So do you think it's fair to say that they shouldn't be criticized because they have done the work?
It's definitely fair to say that they shouldn't be criticized.
Yeah.
And that I don't think you should change or expect Miss Universe industry to change the standards for what they want in that area if we don't change the standards for what in any other area.
So you don't see a Miss Universe as being like more diverse, like with accepting people that's a little bit fuller or have like different body mechanics?
No. I see them doing I see them not changing the standard that they have. They shouldn't have to change the standard that they have in order to fit into the people that want to not do the same work that those that made Miss Universe. If Miss Universe, if we can agree that Miss Universe put in work, if you don't put in that work, don't expect me to change my standard because you don't want to put in that work.
We will have to see because different people's bodies have different.
We said it when we were talking about Stacey Abrams. I ain't never seen a fat skeleton.
No, but I'm saying like some people are predisposed genetically in a certain manner.
They're predisposed, but their actions put them in a certain pace to be more susceptible to it.
But I'm saying like even if they exercise and they do everything they're supposed to, sometimes some people have to do a little bit more in order to get to that same.
And so if you don't want to do the more,
what works for you isn't going to work for the next person. Like me, myself, I don't have to sweat and work super, super hard in order to lose weight. Like my metabolism is very high.
Yeah.
So I've been slim physique for majority of my life. So for me to compare myself to somebody else who struggles to lose weight, they eat a cookie and they gain like 5 pounds. Like I can't relate to that because that's not. I could eat a whole. I used to eat a whole pack of Krispy Kreme donuts, and nothing happened, except for probably
indigestion.
Yeah, I don't suggest that, but I'm saying it's different for different people. So
I know
it's kind of hard to compare and contrast.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
It is.
Okay, let me help you understand it.
Okay.
Let me help you understand it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you and I are both at the same college,
mm-hmm.
and I'm dyslexic,
mm-hmm.
you're not dyslexic, we both have the same class.
Mm-hmm.
It might be harder for me to understand, which means I'm going to have to do what? I'm going to have to study a little bit longer than you to understand the same information. But we're still going to be graded on the same scale. They might give me a little bit extra time to complete my test, but we're still getting the same questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the standard doesn't get lowered because you have something that you couldn't control, that you were born with.
Mm-hmm.
The standard doesn't go lower. You just have to put in more work in the books to meet the standard that the school has.
But even with that being said, there's still minor exceptions, which is
not for
giving
the
you
test.
a little bit
more time. Yes,
a little bit more time.
That means maybe you need to work out a little bit. You need to start your workout routine a little bit earlier than the woman that's also running for Miss Universe. You need to start your workout if she works out for the 18 months before the actual thing, before the actual event. Maybe you need to start working out 20 months.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to start working out 2 years before the actual event. That doesn't mean the actual event changes its standards. You have to rise to the level. That's a lot of issues that I think we have in our community is we want the standards to lower for us instead of us putting in the work to meet the standard.
Yeah, because it's hard to meet that bar.
It is hard. Guess what? It's hard. That's why it's worth it. If it wasn't hard, it wouldn't have the grandeur behind it. It wouldn't have the pay behind it. They're not going to pay you for doing less work than the person that can pay to do more work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might have an issue, but everybody has an issue. Some people have weight issues. Some people have dyslexia. Some people have ADHD. Some people there's so many things that we all have that might be keeping us from being successful. That's why we have to put in more work. We have to choose that what I want is greater than my disability. If you don't choose what you want is greater than your disability, then guess what? You deserve to be where you are because you're not willing to put in the work.
That's true. I give you that one. You got that one.
But I got it.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I give you that one.
All right. Oh, speaking on work, our favorite tennis player, Naomi Osaka. Oh, awesome tennis player. Super awesome. Even beat Serena Williams on Serena Williams' way out. And then last year having issues. He had some issues with stress and mental pressure and everything, to where she didn't want to go out and do the press conferences. So because she didn't want to do the press conferences, they were docking her, and she decided to just bow out gracefully and not do any more events, any more tournaments, right? So she is now pregnant. Yay. Don't say yay. She is now pregnant. Why? Because she is not married. And she is another one has fallen victim to the culture. Another one falls victim to the culture. It's crazy. And guess who what's the guy's name? I don't know the guy's name.
He's a rapper.
He's a rapper. So another one is falling victim to the culture, because it's like, here's the issue. You having things that you're struggling with, right? As so many of us do. And I'm gonna read what she said, what she posted on IG first, and then I'll go into it. She says, "The past few years have been interesting to say the least, but I find that it's the most challenging times in life that may be the most fun. These few months away from the sports has really given me a new love and appreciation for the game I've dedicated my life to. I realize that life is so short, and I don't take any moments for granted, Every day is a new blessing and adventure. I know that I have so much to look forward to in the future. One thing I'm looking forward to is for my kids to watch one of my matches and tell someone that's my mom. Aww. Haha. 2023 will be a year that'll be full of lessons for me, and I hope I'll see you guys in the start of the next one, cause I'll be at Australia 2024. Love you all infinitely. Side note, I don't think there's a perfect, correct path to take in life, but I always felt that if you move forward with good intentions, you'll find your way eventually. So, I'm a little frustrated because this is an issue that we have, that when we start to go through things emotionally, or we start to struggle in life, we make the decisions that we start to make those more easy decisions that will fulfill us emotionally, when we already know that that's not the best way to go or action to take. Yeah. And if we were in a right mind, we wouldn't do it. We look for ways to fill the void that we have, and then she ends up looking for ways to fill the void with someone that I don't think she would have chosen had she been in her right space.
And that happens with a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, they end up with their partner off of a default of being in pain and having somebody to nurture that wound and get you to feeling better, and the next thing you know, there's another little person with you guys.
And that's what, and that, when she says side note, I don't think there's a perfectly correct path to take in life.
She's already feeling.
But I always felt that's the thing. You don't put a side note if you think you're doing right,
because
you know because she knows, and that's the thing. We want to always keep it positive when you could be a role model to say, look, I didn't really do it right, so don't do it the way I'm doing it. That's what I loved about my dad, because even as he was growing in life, if he was doing something that he felt like was the wrong way, he'd be like, this is what I did, this is what I got from it, don't do this.
Yeah, but a lot of parents do that though. They do. It's that saying when they said do
as I say, not as I do. That's different.
It's kind of the same.
No, it was different because it wasn't do as I say, not as I do. Is you're watching me do it, and I'm telling you, don't do it. But I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
My dad was more like
you learn the lesson and then so that's like just passing
lessons down.
Yeah.
But he gives me the honest truth. Like
a lesson plan with history.
Yeah. He gives it to me with his straight, no chaser. This is what happened. This is what I did. This is the mind frame I was in, and this is how it turned out. Don't do it.
But he gave you a piece of history, like his story. So he passed it down to you. And that's how.
But it was just, like we were saying, if you could say this in the moment, and I don't know, I don't think it's any perfect way. This is what you're doing. You're taking it off. You're taking your bad decisions that you know was the wrong decisions, and then trying to turn it so that you cannot be held accountable.
In your favor, yeah.
Well, there is no right way to do it. That I can't stand that. No right way to do it. That's not true. And I know what you're thinking. Everybody's opinion, everybody's way of life is doing things. Guess what? There is a right way to do things, and there's a wrong way to do things. There is. It's like was it Plato or Socrates? I can't remember which philosopher. It was where he got into it with another one, because the one philosopher says everybody's perception or everybody's idea of things is right. However you see it from your eyes is right. But then, if the argument against it is, if everybody's right, then this person is right about how they feel, which makes you wrong. If they're right, then that means you're wrong, and therefore you're not right, and therefore nobody's right. Mm-hmm. So either there's a right and there's a wrong, or nobody's right. Yeah. Because everybody's perception is what's true. Mm-hmm. So for her to say, I don't believe there's a correct path, perfectly correct path. No, you knew you're a 2-time tennis champion, and you could have chosen a path to get your help and not seek, comfort from people that you don't know, that you don't believe are at your level. But instead, you chose comfort that has wound you up in this position. Yeah. And you know she ain't gonna stay with that dude. You know that's not gonna work.
But because it's just a comforting measure.
Exactly.
Once you get that comfort and that newness wear off, then it's like,
you know they ain't staying together. But she can do it because she got the money. Just like we was talking about last week with Keke Palmer and Keke Palmer and Summer Walker and Nick Cannon, Future, and now Naomi Osaka. It's like, yeah, you can do it. Financially, you can do it. But when somebody else that's not financially at the level that you were at tries to emulate what you're doing, they're going to end up sad, broken, alone, and depressed and overwhelmed.
That happens to the kids, too, because it puts a deficit in...
Yeah, it's the facts.
Because you only get... Imagine just having that one parent or having to go on the weekends. It's not fun. Mm-hmm. It's not fun. And then especially if you're in a certain monetary background and then the other person is barely making it, you're not going to enjoy going over to dad's house if he only has like cornbread and chili for dinner.
Mm-hmm. And now you feel like, or the person that's more well-to-do feels like, I don't want my child in that environment because you're not giving them what I can give them. And then, if they're really bad, they're talking trash about the person with less in front of the child. Mm-hmm.
It just makes for an open can of worms.
Mm-hmm. But that leads into my number 4. Mm-hmm. Number 4, I'll do another run back. First, please like this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, share it with someone that you think might be interested in hearing this, someone that might need to hear it, and then go ahead and comment. What do you think? What are you thinking about Naomi Osaka? What are you thinking about what's going on in the world? Anything that we said that hit home with you, tell us about it. Yeah. All right. So yeah, like what we said. So recently, Morgan. So I'm going on the third part, and item number 4 of why women don't need black people. I mean, why black women don't need a man. Why women don't need black people. Whoa, we need each other. But background on it is Morgan Stanley's article predicted that 45% of women will be single in 2030. Mm-hmm. Because of the things that are they're not accepting anything from a guy, not or financially being able to maintain their lifestyle without a man. And the first one was slavery made us equal. From the time we stepped off the boat from the Atlantic slave trade, we were all susceptible to one level. Mm-hmm. So when we got free from slavery, all of us was equal on the same footing. Right? Seeing is believing. If I see it, if women see someone doing it, they understand that they can do it. Mm-hmm. Therefore, they are less susceptible to lower themselves for you because I can do it. And then last week's was possibility of failure. Mm-hmm. So every time I depend on you, I'm leaving myself open to the possibility of failure that you might fall through, and therefore I'm still left carrying the bags. Bag lady, You gonna hurt your back. Oh, so number 4 ties into what we were just talking about with Naomi Osaka, and that's past traumas. So past childhood traumas, or even as an adult, things that I went through in my life. If I'm a black woman, and I got past traumas that I've had to deal with in my life, and if I'm working through it, or if I haven't worked through it, and I take what I have and add them to a relationship where you have issues in your life, now I have to work on trying to overcome my issues and have to deal with your issues. What makes it even more complicated is because some of the things that I went through in my traumas might have led me to where Naomi Osaka is, where now I have got a child. So now I'm trying to work through my issues. I'm trying to raise up my child, and I'm adding on top of that your issues. So now we're in a relationship, a trying relationship with me, my children, and you have your issues, and I'm trying to be. I can't work on my issues and help you fix your issues. So there's it ties into the fact that we need to actually get the counseling that we need, and then we need to a broke woman don't need a broke man emotionally.
But broken people always come together because they're pieces, and pieces like to piece together like a puzzle.
And it does not work.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Most times.
Sometimes.
I'd say most times.
You
know how I say most times? Because there's a higher divorce rate than there is people staying together.
Well, yeah.
So that means most. Most times it doesn't work. So we need to fix our own issues before we go to get into other relationships with other people. And then we need to fix our issues before we even get into the issue of having children. Where we have issues.
What I suggest to people is that, of course, therapy, making sure like your mind and everything is right, your mind, body, and soul. But I definitely think that people should be whole within themselves and complete before they go seeking a partner.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they're broken and they go seeking like their other half. You're supposed to seek somebody that's complementary to you.
Yeah.
Like somebody that can almost shadow you in a certain type of way. And I say that by y'all share the same ideas. Y'all are very similar in different things that you like and things that you like to venture and explore.
Yeah. So
a lot of people, they go 50-50. So you got that 50%, and that's all. If you give 50%, that's an F. You really have to be closer to 100 or 99% before you're giving yourself away. Because when you think about it and you have a child, whenever they run DNA for that child will be 99.9% yours, which is the dad's, right? So you're giving a percentage of yourself, and if you're not in a whole mind, body, and soul, you're gonna be in a deficit for yourself and your child.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring that up into a real sentence, like the real why a black woman doesn't need a man is because I'm broken or you're broken, and neither one of us need to be trying to put our broken pieces together. And if I'm whole and you're broken, you need to be putting your pieces together before you try to come put yourself together with me.
And that's mostly true, because if you have stuff that you need to work on, you need to sit down and work through that like a math problem. Like you need to figure out the equation, the calculation, and stuff, and figure that out?
You know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. When I went through my my divorce, and I was going through things, I did a lot of woodwork. That's why all those pieces I made, I threw on headphones, and I did a lot of woodwork, and I was listening to everything from spiritual messages to knowledge messages, and all of it, everything I could get my hands on, and working through the issues in me. And there's no better way to work through issues for me was to just put my hands to doing some work. And as I'm working through building things, I'm working through my issues in my mind and realizing how I am where I am and what I can do to fix it, or what I need to do in order to fix it, what I need to do to change things. And then even though you're never 100% perfect, you have to first realize that, hey, and this is a big thing, I think a big thing for women and men. I definitely think women need to do this. And this is a big issue because women bring a lot to a relationship. And women bring a lot of excess to a relationship that they did not set down in their last relationship. I think women need to have enough self-discipline to not try to fill that empty space with a man, knowing that your empty space or your broken piece needs to be fixed with something that actually fixes you, and not just puts a Band-Aid or some tape on your broken vase of yourself.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's not intentional. It just happens that way. And that's because of the whole dynamic in seeking someone to fulfill you. So a lot of people, when you're not whole within yourself, like mind, body, and soul, you always seek to fill yourself through somebody else, unless you know how to do it yourself and fill your own cup up. You're always gonna go somewhere with your half cup or your empty cup, and you're gonna go to somebody to try to get it filled. And that's because a lot of people, they don't know the mechanisms and stuff that you need to go through in order to get yourself whole. Like when I went through my divorce, like I had to figure out like a lot of stuff myself. Part of my healing process was me like grounding myself, and by grounding myself, I would like lay out a blanket and go lay in the grass, and then just actually like ground myself. And then once I got up, I felt like a weight lifted. So
well, they say when your feet and your body actually connects to the ground in the grass, it actually balances your electrons within your body.
You definitely have to figure out different things to drop that weight off, because it gets heavy, and that's why depression is so deep within our community, because we don't know how to put those baggages down. We just keep adding on. I don't think we go into a new relationship not knowing. I don't think so, and I really don't. And I think especially, and I don't want to put blame on women, but I do hear a lot of women saying that men are not, in which we are, men are very emotionally, a lot of times unavailable, or emotionally immature. But at the same time, a lot of those women that I've heard that from will snap on you with the quickness. If any little thing has you popping off, you're not healed. Because those people, they're not in the space to be in a relationship. They still have stuff to work through.
But so they'll get in a relationship saying that I need men to be healed. I need men to be emotionally together. But you can snap like that. You're not healed either. But you're pretending that you are, so that you can say that it's someone else's fault. When in fact we all need to get help on both sides. We all have broken pieces in ourselves. But there are so many people that will say are quick to say, I need him, or I need her to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've said it before in the past. I think there are a lot of women that want a perfect man that is willing to accept her for all her imperfections.
And you should be okay with that. But at the same time, you in a relationship, you should be nurtured, you should be loved, you should be nourished, that person should be like the center part of your being. A lot of times when you get in them relationships and you have the female who automatically snaps, it's because they're not getting unconditional love.
No,
yes.
no, I'm not giving that one. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
If she
snaps to a man that's emotionally unavailable and he keeps putting up that block and that guard,
she should have been. She should have been
attention.
She should have been emotionally capable of walking away. If you recognize,
I don't believe. I don't.
You at least walk away from the conversation at the time.
At the time, but
no, hold on. I want to not skip over the fact that what I said.
Okay, go ahead.
Women are asking and looking for a perfect man that is willing to accept her for all of her imperfections.
There's no such thing as perfect.
I know there's not, but there's a lot of women that are looking for the perfect man that is willing to accept her for all of her imperfections. I want you to be perfect. I want you to be emotionally put together. I want you to do this. I want you to have this. But then, if I snap, you just need to accept me for me. But that's who I am. Mm-hmm. Don't say that you want me to be emotionally stable, and if something happens, you pop off, and then I'm just supposed to accept you because I'm not giving you what you need. No, you have issues within yourself that you snap, and then you want to say I'm not giving you what you need.
But in talking about snapping, it depends on like what the snapping is. Like it's different forms. Like of course, you shouldn't be like snapping and getting rude and disrespectful. But if you reach to a point where you keep going to your significant other and they keep blocking you off or putting up that wall, it's like excuse me, I am trying to connect and talk with you, but every time I come to you, you're turning your back on me. Like, what is that about?
That's a different type of sound.
See, that's what I'm coming from. That's a snap.
But you said, no, that's not a snap.
See, that's a snap to me. That's like
that's why I picked you.
That's bringing, yeah, that's bringing.
You'll be like, I fit. I'm not.
Yeah. That's bringing something to your attention. Mm-hmm. But I can understand like in a space of a woman getting upset and cursing and outraged. I don't agree with that. It's always a point to where you reach, and then if there can be a resolution, you walk away from that situation until you both are level-headed. Because at that point in time, you're not listening to the other person. And if you see two people arguing,
I'm just listening to fire back.
Yeah, if you see two people arguing, which one?
As soon as you say something, I'm. See, I told you I was gonna use buttons more.
Yeah, but if you see two people arguing, which one is the fool? Nobody's gonna know. So I don't like to put myself in situations where I'm playing a part of a fool. I want to be level-headed and actually heard.
Yeah.
So when you're in
that's another thing we need to practice more. We need to practice listening and actually listening without the intent to fire back. But it's hard to do that. Let me tell you why it's hard. It's hard to listen without the intent to fire back. And let me tell you why. And we've talked about this before. We talked about this before, though. If you start talking, right, if you start talking and you talk for 5 minutes straight, and you expect me to be able to absorb all of that, and then be able to regurgitate exactly what you said, and still be able to communicate anything, where am I supposed to do that? Like, am I taking notes? How am I supposed to do that? Okay, even like in college, we're both in school. Yeah. You feel like you need to have a voice recorder when your professor's talking, because guess what? You can't absorb all that information. So when you start talking for 5 minutes and you're going for an entire monologue, like, how am I supposed to? And then here's one or two things going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to pick out one thing or 2 or 3 things that I can respond to, mm-hmm. and then I'm listening just to respond, or I'm just going to have to go, okay.
So
and then you're mad at that part too.
Pick out things to respond to.
Because the second part, or I can go, okay. Because do you really want me to take everything you just said, formulate that, and then reconceptualize it to give it back to you as what I understood? I'm still trying to process what you said. I'm trying to remember it, but in that conversation, you want me to have a response that makes it show that I'm listening, mm-hmm. that I've considered what you said, and then give it back to you so that I can contribute to this conversation.
See, that was almost like a 5-minute conversation, and I understood everything.
That was not 5 minutes. Get out of here.
That was
not 5 minutes. That was not 5 minutes.
Look at the time.
That was not 5 minutes, bro. And
please tell him that was 5 minutes.
Into stuff. Like, you talk more. You say stuff, and but that's what I'm saying. We need to be taking notes. Like, we need to be showing up to conversations, mm-hmm. in the same way. I'm telling you, if you watch reporters, mm-hmm. on TV when they're giving an interview, they'll listen even in court. Mm-hmm. If they're doing discussions, and one person is going to have to do the rebuttal with the witness afterwards, they write notes.
Yeah.
There needs to be note taking in conversations, because we cannot sit here and keep going back and forth and not remembering everything the person said, and then trying to make things work. Like, I don't know what you said.
Yeah, of course, and that's the whole part of communicating and everything. So when I'm just like when I'm in class, like, I always have I keep a notebook and a pen in my pocket, mm-hmm. just so, like, if anything comes up, I whip it out and I'm writing my notes and making sure that I get my pointers.
Yeah.
Because of course you can't regurgitate everything. So if you're speaking or talking with someone and you're having dialect, you don't have to go 10 minutes into the conversation, because at that point in time you're just listening to respond. So you have to allow you have to allow space, but you have to listen. You have to allow space and time for the other person to talk. So you can't just go long, drawn out, and this. When people do that, it's because they have built up stuff to say. So they have a pre-made list already in their head. So I have 1 through 5, and I'm gonna list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I want you to respond.
So why don't you just come to the conversation with a list that I can, like, read and then do check off notes? Come to our conversation with a worksheet. Let me fill out this worksheet of the things you want to talk about, so that I can make sure I hit all the marks. Yo, we gotta come out with that. We gotta market that. A worksheet, conversation worksheet.
Conversation worksheet.
But see what I'm saying? But the thing is, you want me to. Okay, if I give you time to talk, and then it's not always that we've had this whole amount backed up of things that we want to say. Sometimes it's the fact that we'll talk for 5 minutes trying to explain one piece, mm-hmm. and it's like
an instructional. Like, when you watch instructional videos, you sit there and you watch it all the way through, step by step, mm-hmm. and then you go back through it again and you pause it. And you're like, okay, so this step, and then you watch it some more, and then you pause it. Okay, that's it.
But for you to say all that is exactly saying it's not like an instructional video. Because in our conversation that we're having, we're not pausing and going. You're literally. That's what I'm saying. You're not pausing. So
you speak, I speak.
But that's not actually fixing each issue.
It's part of it is.
But
so
what if you speak for 5 minutes
and comprehending, then you would know that, okay, this is an instructional. Let me take notes, mental notes.
No, there are no mental notes. No, there's not mental notes. I can't think. If you talk for 5 to 10 minutes, I can't take mental notes of everything you said in between there. Because guess what? Then I'm not listening to understand. I'm listening to respond. Because if I don't put a ping in that point right there, I'm gonna forget that you said that. I can't.
That's just
like, look.
So all this is like when you get older. And
because when you're younger, wait a minute.
You don't have these issues.
If you talk for 5 minutes and then expect me to have a full response, or expect me to say anything that's actually saying I understood, guess what? I forgot the first stuff you said in the first 2.5 minutes. And then, as I was starting to receive it and try to understand it, you talk for another 2.5 minutes. I don't know what you said. Like, all I remember is the last 10 words you said. But you know why? Because you wanted me to let you talk and not interrupt. Fine, I'll let you talk and not interrupt, but I have no idea what you said the first 3 minutes of the conversation. Or not the conversation, of your monologue. I don't know. I forgot. I didn't have time to write down in my head exactly what you said. I don't have time. I don't have the brain space. Fine. Let's think about it. I don't have men do not have the brain capacity.
Your CPU has multiple.
No, I don't have enough RAM. I do not have enough RAM for this. I don't have enough RAM in my drive to process everything you said for that 5 minutes that you talked without allowing me to interrupt and then still be able to talk back to you as if I understood. I did not. Because 2.5 minutes into it, I forgot what you said.
But this is a sidebar. You know you be talking for like 20 minutes.
Because I be trying to get stuff out the same way you be trying to get stuff out.
I'm so serious.
But I'm telling you, this is where you messed up. This is where you messed up. You found a man that can actually express how he feels with words. Therefore, I'm going to give you all these words about how I feel.
I just feel like...
Exactly. But be willing to interrupt me every time I say something that you disagree with. Yes, you do. That's what I'm saying. Do not ask me to listen to your entire monologue without interruption and then cut me off in the first 5 words I say. What? Can we be fair?
I know yours be way longer.
I know mine be longer because I've been trying to. Because I've been making a lot of mental notes.
Too many. See, you have multiple capabilities.
But I'm not. I'm talking about for men in general.
Yeah. Men
as a whole, because we are the black man.
Yes. Strong black man. Let me see your muscles.
What was we talking about?
Go like this.
Look, man. I'm trying to gas me up on TV. I'm trying to gas me up on TV. I'm not gonna fall for that. I'm not falling for that. But we was on the.
Sidebar, you have to gas them up, make them feel good, right?
Yeah.
Right, babe? See?
Only thing is, what you're saying is true. So. No, but yes, okay. To wrap that all up, both of us, man and woman, need to heal.
Yeah, definitely.
Both of us, man and woman, need to stop getting in relationships knowing that we're not healed.
Yeah.
Both of us need to not expect perfection from either partner.
Yeah. Work on your whole body. Mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
In that order. Work on your mind. Make sure your mind is right. Your body.
Go to the gym.
Yeah, don't be going out there trying to look for somebody and you're...
No, but also, that's
don't be out of shape. If you can't walk up the steps without getting out of breath, you're not in shape and ready to the challenges of a relationship.
That's another piece of on top of that.
Yeah.
Don't be unappreciative of who you are.
Yeah.
And then expect someone else to feed that into you. You see what I'm saying? If you know for a fact you need to work out and go to the gym, and then you don't go to the gym, but you find somebody that likes you, or that you get with, and then you expect them to make you feel beautiful when you didn't feel beautiful before y'all got together.
You know, that's like, there's a show I like to watch called, it's not Love After Lockup.
Yeah.
There's a couple on there.
I saw something about that big girl that we saw. Yeah.
She definitely is in a space of where she's not whole. Mm-hmm. And so is he, because he's just coming out of prison. Yeah. He's trying to get himself together. But she doesn't have the confidence. Mm-hmm. Like, she's very beautiful, don't get me wrong. However, she's very massively overweight. Yeah. And you can tell, like, certain activities gets her out of breath, and then she's all squished up in the car, and then you see him there. You see him right next to her.
That's the worst thing. When they climb out of the car.
Jamaican people say it's like mouse on dollar bread. But seriously, I'm not even trying to joke, but you put yourself out there, it's bound to happen. But definitely look at your reflection. If you can't stand in the mirror and look at, that's why I can wear my hair however I want without worrying about how people perceive it to be. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, but then I'm like, I don't care. It's my head. And this is my crown, so I'm going to rock it and wear it however. And whoever doesn't like it, step aside, because you're not affecting my feelings.
But I remember when I finally realized, I finally came to the grips that I have a little head.
Oh, wow. I like your little head.
When I was about 18 or so.
Oh, it took that long?
Yeah. Shoot, I was oh my God. Sad young man.
Oh no, that's like when
you know what? I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, self. Myself said, what's up? Like T.I. versus T.I.P. And I was like, you got a little head. And I was like, you know what? You're right. We still cute though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then after that, pew. Once I did that, took off. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like whenever that's why you accept the things that you cannot change. Yeah. I can't get a bigger head, but I can have a bigger smile. Like
have you tried
that? What? When you try to blow my head up? No.
I'll blow your head up, babe. You look good.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's like when I realized like I was actually short and I'm not gonna grow no more. Like I still feel like I'm tall. I don't think I'm that short. But everybody's taller than me.
From the top cabinet.
Yes. Everybody's taller than me, so it's a height challenge. It is what it is.
Anyway,
I overcome it. But definitely getting back to it. Definitely stand in the mirror, look at yourself, and accept yourself. If there's something that you want to change, make that change. Because nobody's gonna come in your life and do it for you. And even if they do, they're not gonna do it correctly in the way that you need it to be done.
But if you want to make a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. What you talking about? Like it. The people like it. But hey, these were great conversations. I think this was great. I hope more of you like it. I hope more of you share it. More of you subscribe. Y'all have a great week. Yep. And we out? Are we out?
Thank you for watching.
Yes.
We love you.
Black, beautiful people.
And we are Black Press.
Press.